want anybody that can hold a placard to hold two for the start, because we have them in plenty. But if you find someone who is joining us, whether they started with us or along the way, you can give them one and hold one. So we shall be behind the band. The band will be leading, and there will be also a banner that will follow closely. So we'll need two strong people that can keep interchanging and holding the banner, yes. So they will be holding the banner, and then when you hold the placard, you should be able to display the message, because the placard has a blind side and then the information side. Be assured to show the info code and which regulations we are supposed to observe. Yes.
And we should move near each other.
Where your mouth is.
From words to
classroom.
From justice
now.
When you want it
now.
When you want it
now.
Another one. We need like 5. Then we also have water in the car.
When do we want it?
Now.
Ecology
is the answer.
Ecology
is the answer.
Now. Climate justice
is the answer.
Climate justice.
No.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
Finance our future. Finance our
Future.
Finance our
Future.
Finance our
Future.
Words to
Action.
Words to
Action.
put your money where?
Your mouth
Put
is.
your money where?
Your mouth is.
Put your money where?
Your mouth is.
Fund our
Future.
and our
Future.
lives of real humans like you and I, then you begin to believe that climate change is real. I mean, you're talking about the extremities of weather patterns. A community like Wildlife is one that suffers from both very, very seriously, because if we don't, eventually it translates into the food or lack of it that you will not have on your table.
Because of the drought that Dennis has talked about. So because we are unable now to consistently grow food season in and out, dependent.
Okay, balamusizanyo amanya nze naima asasini akola n'ekitongole kya ActionAid International, ekitongole kya nabachewa ekikola ku ebintu ebingi naye okusingira ddala wiiki eno twagala kwogera ku nsonga z'enkyuka y'obudde. Bw'olaba kati enkuba etonnya, bwe tutunuulira emabekako enkuba yali tetonnya mu biseera bino mu mwezi guno. Kaakati fenga ActionAid tusazeewo nti gavumenti erina okuteeka ku mwanjo ensonga ezikwatagana n'embeera y'obudde. Embeera y'obudde ekosezza nnyo abantu naddala abakyala, kuba abakyala basinga okwetaba ku bintu by'obudde. Tulabye amataba nga gayitiridde mu nsi yaffe, naddala mu Tom Libengo, mu Northern Uganda, mu East ne muno mu Kampala. Abantu bangi ebintu ebyobusuubuzi bikoseddwa, ebyobulimi bikoseddwa, ne tulaba ng'abantu beeyongedde okugenda mu bwavu. Kaakati twagala okubuuza gavumenti kiki kye bagenda okukola okulaba nti embeera y'abantu balina Uganda ekyukakyuka n'enkyukakyuka y'obudde tetuliko. Tujja kusigala ku byemabega nga tugamba katukole ebirala. Twagala obulamu bw'abannansi butuuke mu byobusuubuzi, mu byobulimi, kubanga munnayuganda asinga nnyo okulizigama ku kyobulimi. Ku lwekyo gavumenti tuzze wiiki eno n'abantu bannayuganda buli omu asitule wamu tusobola okulaba nti ensonga y'enkyukakyuka y'obudde tugiteeka ku mwanjo ne tulwana ffenna awamu ne tulaba nti ensonga zino zikwasidde n'amaanyi era nga buli kimu tukikoze nga bwe kyetagisa. Tulaba nti Uganda
from our side of Northern Uganda.
Uganda. I come from a very hot spot area, that is the sub-county called Balani district. So far, I do take my time to work with almost 4, 5, 6 districts to monitor, to see what is happening, to at least gather information on climate justice or climate change. Now we are asking for climate justice. We are calling upon the government and all the stakeholders to come to see that the community get the right justice for the environment. Cutting of trees is too much. Bilateralism is too much. Beating of people who are working hand in hand to see that their trees are not cut is too much. Now you see today representing those with disabilities, but due to stopping of those people cutting trees, they can beat you, they can torture you. Kind of beyond beating was torture. So when we sit and see them, we are no longer going to bring change. So it is now us to get up, stand for your rights, stand for the elders, stop what is not right within the community. Though you will get punishment, you will be beaten, torture, don't mind, the future is coming. The only thing is our voice to be heard. We have reached a point where we cannot now. That is why we are raising voice to all the stakeholders, the government to come, to help the community, the vulnerable people. We don't have even what to eat because the rain, we used to have 2 seasons, but now we cannot. Not only that, when you plant your greens, the vegetables around, in the night they can bring in all the animals, the cattle. You will find they have eaten it all. So you only start crying and leave it there. Our children are suffering, we cannot pay school fees because the trees are cut. Sunshine is too much. For people who are pregnant like me, you see when the sun is too hot, we are having too much discourage. We call it like that, miscarriage. So for us, we are even losing babies from there. So when it is too hot, you need first to soak your clothes on water, then you put it on. Yeah? So it is even too much there in the village. We need climate justice, really. That is what is happening there. Hotspots are there in northern Uganda. We need justice. Climate justice. We need climate justice.
Now.
Climate justice.
Now.
Please, the government, hurry up. Though we are getting
notes of what she is saying, that every time we have issues around climate justice, that the sections of our communities that are already vulnerable become even more vulnerable. These are human rights defenders trying to protect our environment, but they are not safe. Who are defending our environment deserve to be protected. The women have to be protected. The most affected communities must be protected. As you can see, she says pregnant women with the extreme heat are losing babies. We just experienced heat waves. And you can see the impact of the heat wave on people who are already vulnerable because they are carrying life. We do not want to lose another life to the devastating effect of climate change. Thank you for amplifying the voices, not just of women in northern Uganda, but women all over Uganda who are bringing life, but who also contribute over 70% to our agricultural sector. They must be protected because if they do not cultivate, we will not have food. And if we do not have food, we do not have life. So food sovereignty is the way to go. Agroecology
Is the answer.
Agroecology
Is the answer.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
Allow me to invite Xavier.
Thank you so much, Mercy, and thank you, frontline communities represented here and the media. We are grateful that rain came when we were doing a marching on climate justice. What a way to have it. This was phenomenal. I'm happy that I'm soaked in rain to demonstrate what we are really talking about. First, there should now be no doubt in the minds of any Ugandan, anyone around the world, that climate change is with us here now. And we are running against time. It is urgent, it is necessary, and it is important that we get climate justice. Now, just in this month alone, for Ugandans, we have recorded the highest level of Lake Victoria in history. Lake Victoria has risen to the highest level in history. Just this month, we have lost lives to flooding and landslides in Bunyangabo, in Kasese, in the east on the slopes of Mount Rwenzori, Bujuda, but we're also seeing Lake Tioga, Lake Albert, and the downstream of River Nile overflooding. Obongi is currently underwater, and we know that for the last 5 years, Pakwach Bridge has been almost submerged. Currently, Karuma Bridge is not motorable to vehicles that carry more than 14 people. And last month, actually the beginning of this year, we had the highest levels of heat that we could have across this country, and especially in central Uganda, and livelihoods. And we cannot sit by and watch as this is going on. We need action, not words. We need to fix climate change, and to do so, we need to fix the financing of climate justice. Why are we saying that it is a matter of justice? You've had communities that are already vulnerable, that are impoverished, at the receiving end of climate change impact. Their livelihoods affected, their lives are not only affected, but they're being lost. And so we cannot afford to see and sit by when those who are already most vulnerable are being affected. We think that an occurrence, a weather event or a climate event that impairs the lives of the most vulnerable, these vulnerable people deserve justice. Financing of industrial agriculture and fossil fuel to supporting real solutions which research has backed and shown that it can help in, first of all, nurturing the livelihoods of people affected, but also helping to contribute to restoring the ecosystem and reducing the impact of climate change. What is that? It's agroecology. So funding agroecology rather than funding industrial agriculture is the solution. Funding renewable energy rather than fossil fuel is the solution. And so we are here to call to action all stakeholders from all walks of life, from governments, from financial institutions, whether they are international financial institutions or they are local financial institutions, whether they are governments, whether they are communities, whether they are religious institutions. We now need action. Each one of us needs to move away from words to action. This action started with a march. We're going to call on with precision the next steps that we need to make in terms of calling action. And that is why we are here.
Yeah.
Uganda yayogedde ko leero.
Like to help the